will toss a question to the Rewired Soul to kick this debate off, and then I'll basically let you guys go at it. So here's my first question. Now, Rewired Soul, you were the first person to kind of toss some shade at, I believe it was Turkey Tom, Bo Blacks, and DeOrio. So my question for you is, what is your issue with Nicholas DeOrio?
You know, like, that's what's weird. Like, Nick, I love you, brother. And Josh, love you too. Like, I don't have any issues. Like, you know what's interesting? Like, so when I was actually making that video, I left everybody anonymous because I felt like for what like I was trying to discuss in that video, it'd be weird if I was like, oh, look at these YouTubers, like go talk shit on their channel or whatever. You know what I mean? So I purposely left you guys anonymous, and then you guys came out and like, this was me. But there was no intention to throw shade. Like, the purpose of that video is like, trust me, and I've been caught up in that shit too, where it's like, we are incentivized to keep making videos about certain topics. That's all I was trying to say. Like, I know-
Yeah, but I'm not incentivized to make for money. I don't make very much money off my videos. I'm incentivized to try to clear the name of somebody who is falsely accused of rape.
Oh, yeah.
That's my incentive.
Yeah, for sure, dude. No, and like, I absolutely get that. But like, so something that I'm trying to just have a conversation about, I guess, is like how much? Like, I'm not sure how many videos you made, Nick, like, sorry, but I know some people made multiple videos, and then it becomes this thing because it's, dude, like, you can call me out on the same shit because I've done it as well. Like, at what point has the name been cleared, and at what point do we still need to keep giving updates? You know what I mean? Have
you watched my videos?
I've watched a couple of them. I didn't.
No. Yeah. Have you watched these videos?
These videos? No, but I heard very good things about it.
So you came on this stream tonight to debate me on a subject with 5 days of preparation, and you didn't watch the video you criticized.
How did I criticize it?
Well, you put my name, Bo Blacks' name, Turkey Tom's name, Kavos' name, and Keemstar's name in the description of your video, and implied, well, they didn't imply, you outright said that we were doing this for money. You said that we were cashing in on the drama.
Nick, see, here's where we gotta slow down a bit. Let me check this out real quick. So in my description, you're saying that I said that you guys did this for money?
You said we were cashing in on the drama. That's, I believe, the direct quote. I'll pull up a link and I'll give it to you.
All right, cool. I'll do the same. No. I see what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Like, that wasn't my intention of like cashing in. Like, YouTube ad dollars are like bullshit. Like, basically what I'm talking about is like the attention, like the YouTube algorithm pushes that stuff out. And you know that, like, these videos were like popping for everybody. So yeah, that's probably my fault. I shouldn't have said cash in.
Yeah, but you don't understand what my video was. You're making that assumption. Do you understand that most of the context that you're getting, most of this came from me? I was directly involved in the situation.
Well, I think, you know, that's one of the issues all of us have with each other, right? Like, we're assuming people's intentions.
No, I watched your videos. I know your intention. You didn't watch my video. I interviewed fucking Slazo, for God's sake.
Yeah? Did you?
Yes! It went well. I spoke to Alex for 2 hours, and then I used that information to question Slazo. I got information from Dolan Dark. I was involved in the situation.
Nick, I don't know why you're yelling at me, but
because this is hilarious.
It is kind of funny. No, like, sitting there, because I talked with Slazo as well, and seeing Slazo's statement, like, the point of that video, like the one I made, was discussing how Slazo has moved on, and how Slazo discussed how he didn't want people to go through that same shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I was saying. I didn't say you made a bad video. I didn't say this was a terrible video. The point, the intention of my video was to explain, all of us who do any kind of commentary, YouTube promotes that, and we're incentivized to do those things and to keep talking about these things. Like, is that not true?
Dude, oh my God. You didn't watch the video I made on you either.
No, fuck no.
Oh my fucking God.
Fuck no, dude. I got enough of a recap to understand what
you don't understand. I didn't read. I literally did a summary and then made all new arguments. That's why I found it very funny that you didn't address a single point that I made. But I did notice that your book went from being $3 back to free again as soon as the next day after my video came out.
Yeah, no, because somebody let me know that you mentioned that. I was like, okay, yeah. I said it was going to be a limited time thing. This dude brought it up.
All the descriptions say it's free, dude. I don't. Maybe the videos I watched didn't say limited time. My free audiobook.
Yeah. It was a limited time. It's even stated in the book, and that's not something that, like, one of my mentors I was talking to was like, yo, you didn't make that clear enough, so you might as well make it back free again. So now to clear that up, I've been saying it more intentionally in my videos. Nick, you wanna know how much money I made when I switched it from free to $3?
Probably not very much.
No, lower than that.
Don't worry, I wasn't jumping to conclusions that you were making $1 million off this. Don't worry, that never crossed my mind once.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, nobody bought it when it was up for like 24 hours at $3. So don't worry, man.
God, you really don't know anything about me, do you? You're really coming on here completely blind.
Yeah, well, I think we both are, you know?
No. I've seen what you've put out. At least I have some inclination of who you are. I've seen videos on you. I've watched at least 20 of your videos. But you haven't watched the videos A, you've criticized, B, you've included in the video, or C, the one I specifically made on you as a response to the video where you jabbed me.
Why are you so offended by that video? Like, what I don't understand is why you got so sensitive about it. I used one screenshot just to kind of like just show, I blurred out the titles, and you got so upset about it that you ended up making an entire video about me.
I didn't make a video on the first one. I responded to the second one, but you'd know that if you watched my video.
Nick,
you know, the one where you compared cancel culture to fucking terrorism. How about that one?
Nick, this whole thing kicked off because I used one screenshot of your videos.
No. I jabbed you on Twitter, left you alone, and found out there's another video on your thing. Like, that's an assumption.
Why did that get you so upset that you're like, you know what? I need to make a full video on this guy. Because
I just told you that's not what happened.
Screenshot in which I left you a not. Like, why did it make you that upset, dude?
I made a Twitter thread. I jabbed you and I said, what's wrong with my video? You put it on here. You're telling me that I doubled my sub count, which I did. I doubled my sub count.
Hey, no. Pause. What's the issue then? That was the point that I was making. Like,
and that was it. I made a tweet and that was done.
You doubled your sub count. I mentioned that Bo Blast was getting a shit ton of views too. That's all I was saying. Like, why did that get you upset? Like, did I say something untrue?
I think it's funny. I think it's funny that you're bringing that up. I think it's funny that you take this and think numbers. Mr. I lost 20,000 subs in a month, suddenly coming to me and talking about numbers when the only thing on my mind is getting a guy who's been accused of rape to be vindicated in the community.
Why did that get you upset? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I just told you why it got me upset.
Why did it get you upset? All I said was you doubled.
Are you gonna get on here and just tell me you mad, bro, for the next fucking 30 minutes? Why am I fucking here?
No, dude. Hey, I'm just trying to get inside the mind of Nick. Like, I want to know, like, I left you anonymous. I mentioned that you doubled your sub count. There were many other situations that I talked about in that video. You got extremely upset. I didn't say you shouldn't defend Slazo. I didn't say you shouldn't try to clear his name. Like, what happened?
Because it's hilarious. The guy who's made 60 plus videos on, it's hilarious that the guy who made 60 videos on Shane Dawson, over fucking 20 on Trisha Paytas, and over 40 on Jake Paul is giving me shit for doubling the size of my channel.
Nick, I didn't give you shit. Like, somebody just stating a fact is not taking a jab at you, dude. Like, chill.
You're the one who featured me in your video. If you're going to talk about how small creators, young creators, little creators are incentivized to make this content for money, then that's a problem. That's something that's absolutely something Twitter worthy. But it's not like I went and made a video on that.
I didn't say it was for money. All right, like, it's just
what does incentivize me? And am I getting fucking jib jabs? Am I getting? What am I getting here?
What's a jib jab, Nick?
It's a phrase I've heard before.
All right, Nick, don't give me, like, I do like it. I can understand that you're upset, but I do like it. Like, I'm just discussing, like, ever since, especially, like, you know, the way I got caught up in shit, just something that I'm addressing on my channel is when we do talk about different issues, it does pull in the views. And, like, here's the thing, dude. So, like, going back to, like, you shoved it in there real quick, but let's discuss the idea that I have ever in my life said that channels like yours create mass shooters, which is wildly taken out of context.
Love to play the clip.
Wildly taken out of context.
Okay, I have the full context. I'll be happy to give Augie the link.
It's a 30-minute piece of content.
Don't worry, I didn't cut out 30 seconds. I cut out over a minute.
Over a minute? Holy shit. I'm sorry. I get sarcastic when I get defensive.
That's fine. It's expected from a mental health. Oh wait, no, it's not expected from a mental health professional.
That's something else we can address. Augie, if you want to put that on there.
Well, we're getting into a bunch of things right here. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the clip that Nick has, and I will play this for everyone on stream. This is a minute long, and it goes into your sort of comparison of mass shooters to commentators. I do
Before we get to that, can I explain the other 25 minutes that led up to?
Absolutely.
Okay, Nick, I'm sorry this isn't a bad thing. I used to be an angry young man too, but
I'm very happy. Chris, I'm very happy. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, I could tell talking about my jib jabs and whatnot. But no, dude, like the point I was talking about in the whole context of that is like, there's a lot of angry fucking people. And like, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. When's the last time you made a positive video? When's the last time?
I vindicated a guy from rape.
Oh.
I vindicated Just Destiny from being called a pedophile, and his account now has 150,000 new subs when he came back.
So
I've done quite a few good things. I defended Dan Charles when the internet came down.
There's a difference.
These are very positive videos.
There's a difference between
swing them negative
things and positive results and talking negatively about people. Have you ever made a video where helping somebody out didn't tear somebody else down?
What do you mean? If somebody accuses somebody, that person is going to get shit.
Well, you've made more videos than the Slazo video. I'm asking, in your entire library, have you ever made a video just talking about one positive person in the community, or just something just straight positive that didn't talk down about anybody?
Let me actually say.
You do that. So anyways, while I was talking in that podcast, it's just something that I've noticed. There are a lot
I did.
Oh yeah? Which one?
I have a video called These YouTubers Hate Channels That Make Money, and I talk very highly of every single member of the reaction commentary community who I think take too much shit because they do their channel for money. They reach children's audiences, and a lot of people don't like that, and I think it's perfectly fine to make your money.
Dope.
That's positive video.
I need to check that one out. But aside from seeing just multiple videos, not from you specifically, because that podcast wasn't about you specifically, Nick, there is a lot of negative shit out there. And as a result, like, it fuels the mob. Like, dude, trust me, I watch your Twitter, I watch all your guys' Twitter, and trust me, I love talking shit. I love talking some shit. But we all have these followers, and when 90% plus, and dude, it's something that I'm working on too, because I talk too much shit sometimes. But when 90% of the time we're just talking shit to people, like, we are creating this kind of negative environment. That was what the context of the first 25 minutes of that was, as well as just talking about how things aren't all that bad. You know, like, don't get me wrong, somebody falsely accusing somebody else of rape is fucked up. Let's talk about it. And it's dope that all of you guys came to Slazo's defense. That's badass, right? But part of it too, which, you know, we can talk about after Augie plays the clip, part of it too, which I'm trying to start a conversation around, is, when is the punishment enough? Like, maybe we can circle back to this, Augie. Like, I would love, since I have all three of you on, like, right now, I would love for you guys to tell me, like, what punishment would be enough.
I can answer that right now.
Lay it on me.
I'm Alex, as a creator who has made this same mistake 3 times now in 3 different scenarios, twice in the last 2 months, where he falsely accuses somebody when he doesn't have all the information. At that point, this is a YouTuber who has, 1.6 million subscribers worth of a young audience, a very impressionable audience. So I'll tell you right now what I think is good enough. I think everybody dragging his name so far through the mud that if he made a video saying, hey guys, the sky is blue, I wish people looked at that video and went, no, I think the sky's green because Alex said it was blue. That's what I think. I think when you accuse people of rape multiple times and you don't learn from it, and you leave the video up where you accuse somebody of sexual assault and monetize it for a month after, even though you've already apologized for it, I think you're a degenerate piece of shit.
Nick, you don't hear yourself and why I think you're angry, dude. But
Chris, why are you trying to be my friend? I literally don't befriend degenerates. I jab them. I do this. I put my internet personality on and I talk to them.
Well, let's get back to it though. You didn't list anything that Alex could do to make this right. All you did was talk about his past.
I did apologize. We listed it over and over and over, and he couldn't even do that right 30 days later.
So what would a correct apology be? That's what I'm trying to ask.
To stop blaming other people. To come out and say, hey, listen, I spread a rumor that Hyojin fucked Dolan Dark and cheated on Pyro Cynical. Hey, I shouldn't have done that. I was involved in this behind the scenes in a Discord server when all these leaks came out. It's very clear that we were preparing this for about a month, and I didn't say anything. Yeah, I wish he addressed all the criticism instead of, hey guys, I already apologized to him in private. Stop unsubscribing. I hate the fact that my channel loses every time I upload.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that Alex is not remorseful for what he did?
No, I don't. I talked to him in private. The guy fucking said to me that he still thinks James Charles did tons of stupid shit, and months after, we've already proven those things were false from Tati. He can't even, behind the scenes, take that criticism that he's already apologized for publicly. If somebody says something public and can't take credit for it behind the scenes, what does that tell you about their personality, Chris?
I don't know, man.
You're the personality expert here.
I would never call myself an expert. I would never do that. But no, dude, like I completely get it. And like, I'm honestly just asking you because this is a trend that we see on YouTube where no apology is ever good enough. So like, I'm trying to
Did you see Dolan Darks? It was great. Dolan Dark apologized like 2 days in. It got like fucking 2,000 favorites. Everybody goes, thank you, Dolan. I can't wait to be a fan again. His apology went perfect. He went on Reddit. He went on Twitter. He didn't make a YouTube video or anything like that, which is what people were declaring that Heojin and them needed to do. He made a little fucking Reddit post and it got everywhere and everyone likes him. Nobody's giving him shit anymore.
Really? Feel free to shoot me that link. Like I'm creating a database for like proper apologies because it's just something really interesting to me. But I don't want to seem like I'm delaying or anything. Like, Augie, go ahead and play that clip whenever you get a chance. I want to help flip some of these angry white boys. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them haven't been through a real struggle, and I have no problem talking to them like what are their frustrations? Because I don't mean to be extra in any way, shape, or form, but angry white boys are scary as shit. I was trying not to talk about it in this episode, but just this is unfiltered, Chris. But look at all the mass shootings in this country, and look how we just had 2. It's angry white boys. And that's what worries me about YouTube. That's what worries me. And like, if these creators venting on YouTube, if that's keeping them from doing something fucking crazy, cool, right? But the problem is that they're creating communities of these other angry white boys. And it's just like a fact. It's a fact. And like, I don't know, it's scary. It's a scary time that we're living in, where the most dangerous people out there are angry white kids from the suburbs. So what I was saying is, like, when we hear things, when we listen to things, we think shit's about us, right? Like, when I was talking about that, like, I follow a bunch of weird fucking channels on YouTube, and I don't know why, I just find it interesting. Like, when I was saying that, I was thinking about this one channel, and he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and every day he posts like multiple conspiracies, and he's like super ultra like Christian and all these things, and he's just like, you know the type, right? And I'm thinking about how many other channels out there are like that. So I don't think that you and Bo Blacks or anybody else is creating like some kind of like fucking radical, group out there. But in the broader context of YouTube, there is shit out there. And like, statistically speaking, right? And I'm not saying there's a correlation between YouTube is creating these people. Like, we all saw that dumbass article, who was it, the New York Times made with like Philip DeFranco, whoever it was. But anyways, like, statistically, we know who the mass shooters are, right?
Yeah, real quick, Chris, people in the chat are asking you to name the channel.
Oh, see, why do you guys do? All right, let's pause real quick, all right? And I'm gonna need both Bo Blacks and Nick to give me a pass if I do it. I try to leave people anonymous, and then y'all want me to talk about people.
Well, if you're saying that they're gonna start, they're literally masking the next mass shooting by their commentary videos. Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to name them.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna name it then. I'm definitely not, because that, like, dude.
Why? Because we're gonna chase them off the platform, and then Walmart's fucked tomorrow. Is that what we're saying here, Chris?
I've been through this shit long enough. I dropped the name of this channel. Next thing you know, there's 50 videos about me calling some fucking random super Christian dude a white nationalist.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I ain't going out like that.
Who the fuck did you sell that story to? Did you sit in front of the mirror and just... Chris, you talk about my video in that thing. You literally call me an angry white boy. You talk about the video I made on you less than 12 hours before. I think I uploaded it right before I went to sleep, and your podcast was out in the morning. You're talking about some of the points that I make, saying that you had somebody else watch it for you, and you literally referred to me as an angry white boy. So I know you love your analogies, Chris, and you call this guy an angry white boy. So you see where the terminology tends to lead, don't you? Yeah. I'm an angry white boy for the first half of the podcast, but suddenly I'm a happy-go-lucky motherfucker at the end of it? No. Angry white boy, school shootings, commentary. It's not a crazy line to draw, Chris.
Nick, you couldn't pay me enough to have me refer to you as happy-go-lucky. Like, and here's what I'm trying to understand about you, Nick. You actually, like, now that I'm actually talking to you, you might not actually be be as angry as I think. I think you might just be passionate, and I get that struggle where passion can come off as anger. You know what I mean? But on the other hand too, I do see on Twitter all day talking this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I run a news show.
What?
We do a news show called Shot from the Point News. I cover news stories that are going around in the community, and some of them, if I'm passionate about them, I upload the video. You made a very good call there, Chris.
Thank you. So let me ask you this, Nick. Creating your channel, creating the videos you do, what is the intention of your channel? Like, what is your goal? What is if Nick DeOrio had a mission statement?
To go look for degenerates and then expose them to the community for the 1 year or so that I plan to be here. We're about halfway through.
Like, that's an interesting intention. And like,
Keemstar can't come to me and tell me, oh, why don't you quit Tommy's show? Or these other YouTubers come to tell me, oh, you should get away from this, you should do this, because I'm not planning to be here long term. I don't need Keemstar's to suck. I don't need to suck Keemstar's dick to get anywhere.
That makes two of us, brother. But yeah, no, I was just curious. Like, I think about that, like, you know, us creators, like, what's our intention when we go out there? Trying to expose? Are we trying to do this? And trust me, like, I reflect a lot. I'm like, what is my intention? Like, people, you know, trust me, I know people aren't gonna believe it, but there's plenty of videos that I have not made because I'm like, I don't need to make a video on this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always trying to check my intention. Like, what am I trying to do? And you guys, like, I know you guys deal with this as well, where a lot of people in the audience request you to make videos to expose something that they feel passionate about, right?
Yeah, Chris, I'm not a hired gun. I don't do that. I don't do that shit.
Okay, Nick, hold on.
$40 isn't enough to sway me.
Nick, my dad always said I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Let me ask you this. If you have multiple people talking to you about a story, you're not gonna make a video knowing that multiple people are
Chris, I break stories. I don't report on them.
Oh shit. So, okay, somebody clip that because that was the best line of this entire thing. Like, that was gangster, Nick.
I beat Kavos to the upload for your information on the Slazo situation. I talked to Kavos, well, through Tommy C, and then he made his video, which put the Baited podcast together. That's how this all happened. That's how this Slazo situation got going.
Was Josh saying something?
Josh is around. We talk
important.
often.
Nothing important.
So, Nick, previously, before this all got started, you said that you had things like, feel free to like go point by point. Like, I think I have a rough idea of what you listed about me in your video. If there's anything you want to discuss, anything I can clear up, let's take some time to go over.
All right, I have a question. How come you make your videos, Chris?
Oh, dude. Ugh. God, okay. I'll condense it. So obviously, you know, I've been through, you know, addiction and my own mental health issues and stuff like that. Part of my program was, you know, it is like, so my sponsor like saved my fucking life, right? And I used to ask him like, what can I do to repay you? What can I do to repay you? Like, I was a broke degenerate, as you call him, right? A drug addict and everything. And this dude saved my life. I'm like, how can I ever repay you? And he said, dude, like, once you get this thing, just try to help others. And for a while that just involved helping other people in 12-step programs. And then I went and I got the job at the Rehab Center. And like, I know you must have read my book, right? But,
I skimmed it. It was a very long read for the video that I had to make.
Yeah, no, dude, I was hoping it would be shorter. I actually cut a lot of shit out. But anyways, when I was working at the treatment center, like, dude, I worked at a nice ass treatment center, right? And like, I got sober on, you know, in a sober living house and with food stamps and buses and stuff. And then I'm working at a luxury rehab and I saw how many people were ungrateful for that shit, right? Like, they'd complain about fucking food and all this other stuff. I'm like, you know what, you guys, like, I was like, you know how many people out there wish they can come into treatment and you guys are in here bitching? And yeah, that's one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel, because I know, especially in the United States, so many people lack healthcare, mental health care and shit like that. And you do have awesome creators out there like Dr. Todd Grande, Katie Morton, these licensed professionals. But I'm like, you know, I get a pretty good feedback when I do groups at this rehab. Maybe I should talk about it on YouTube and provide people with free access. You know what I mean? Just to try to help more people. So that was my overall intention, like starting my channel. And then obviously once I found, you know, like, since I follow a lot of commentary channels, drama channels, news channels, I was like, oh, so if you talk about these other subjects, you get more views. So like, my goal is to reach as many people as possible, but my ultimate downfall was kind of blending those two because YouTube doesn't like promoting mental health content.
So you're essentially clickbaiting mental health onto, like, you want to get your voice out, your opinion out, and the easiest way to do that is through the YouTubers like Trisha Paytas, through the YouTube that you talk about.
For sure, like, I clickbait the fuck out of videos. I haven't been clickbaiting as much. I feel like I lost my clickbait mojo. But yeah, dude, like the way I always kind of made the analogy, because you know I love me analogies, it's like a dog, your dog doesn't want medicine, right? The medicine's gonna help the damn dog, but it doesn't want the medicine. So you wrap that medicine up in something it likes, like some cheese, some peanut butter, whatever it is, and then it takes that medicine. So what I was doing was like, okay, I'm gonna wrap this in, you know, like a drama or a commentary, you know, YouTuber related topic. But my ultimate goal, and it still has been, even with some of the rebranding, like it still has been, I want somebody watching my video to leave with something. So for example, when we're talking about intention, you're saying your intention, you know, and I don't know if you were just fucking with me, but is to like expose people, clear the name of people like Slazo and everything like that. Like, I know how many of us sit back with our shitty lives and we watch these YouTubers go through a mess and we don't reflect on ourselves, right? So my goal, and sometimes I miss the fucking mark, don't get me wrong, but my goal is by the time my video's over, I want somebody to be like, oh wow, like I can relate to that. So basically, like at the end of it, like for anybody who missed it, my overall intention is I want people to leave my videos not just knowing more about a YouTuber or a situation, but also have something that they can look at within themselves and say, oh, maybe I need to work on, you know, my relationships, or maybe I should go seek out therapy, or oh, maybe meditation is a good idea, like whatever the fuck it is. So what I would love to have a conversation with you about, Nick, is, you know, obviously, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, you, as well as many other creators and plenty of people watching this stream, I'm guessing, you feel that my intentions are not what I just said.
Well,
right?
Are you going to tell me that it's not about money? Is this not your job?
Oh, no, fuck yeah, it is.
Okay, there's money to this. The reason you show your book and all this stuff, there is a element of this that is money.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Nick, and like, I've personally never understood that. Like, we all need to pay our bills. Like, dude, when I was working at the rehab center, they were paying me. Do you know how many pissed off clients we had in there and say, you don't really care about us, you just care about the money, right? It's like, no, like, yeah, I do have rent, I do have a car payment, I do got to get groceries, I have a son to feed, right? But that doesn't mean it's the only reason. I don't know what it is in the YouTube community where there's this kind of either or idea, and maybe you can explain it to me where—
Oh, don't worry, I'm a firm proponent here talking about how channels should be able to make their money. Again, that's one of my positive videos on my channel, is I'm fine with people making money on YouTube.
So do you believe that someone can't do something good and make money too? Like, do you think that people who work for nonprofits don't make money? You know what I mean? Like help me understand that.
No, I get what you're saying. I know. I don't think that you can be a mental health channel on YouTube and make money. There's no issue with that.
What is the issue?
My question with you is, so you're talking about all this stuff. You had these terrible things happen in your life. You fought addiction.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you about someone named Taylor Nicole Dean.
Yeah, lay it on me.
You uploaded a video on Taylor Nicole Dean called "Stop Enabling Taylor Nicole Dean," and if you want to put it on screen, Augie, I'll bring the description directly to you.
Yeah, Augie, if you're going to do that, please go back and check my previous Taylor Nicole Dean videos, because like you, Nick, I made several very positive videos about Taylor Nicole Dean.
Oh, so that's fine. I'm not criticizing this description. I'm just showing it's something on screen.
I'm showing the description on screen.
It reads, I made a video about Taylor Nicole Dean hooking up with a new guy after her breakup with her boyfriend, Johnny Craig. Well, it's not that big a deal for anyone to get on the rebound. Taylor Nicole Dean is in early addiction recovery. The problem is that people who love her are enabling her behavior. So I'm sure you could probably relate to this girl. You've been in addiction recovery, I'm sure.
Yeah. So here's one of the things too, right? I have a very utilitarian point of view. And this is where I don't understand why more of us don't get along, because I feel like we have the same mindset. Okay? Like, so for example, let's use the I'm Alex situation. You guys knew, like everybody knew, we all knew, like this is gonna affect I'm Alex, but you felt that it was justified so people, A, know who I'm Alex really is, B, I'm Alex really deserves this, or whatever your motives or intentions were for that. Like, I've discussed the situation too. Like, these are things that could potentially ruin a man's life, right? The same way that things could have potentially ruined Slazo's life. But you guys also thought about the greater good. So before I dive into Taylor Nicole Dean, the example that just sticks out the most in my head, and I'll always go back to this example, when people got all pissed off about me talking about Trisha Paytas. When Trisha Paytas and Jason Nash were together, like they uploaded a video with hundreds of thousands of views, I believe. I don't know if it's still up. It was about how Trisha Trisha refused to let Jason leave that apartment. She blocked the door.
I've seen it, yes.
Right? And he was threatening to call the police. And as they're recapping that story, they're laughing. So part of what I'm doing, when I watch Trisha Paytas and, Jason Nash's toxic relationship, when I watch Taylor Nicole Dean hooking up with a dude in rehab, I sit there and I ask myself, what is the audience taking away from this? What is the audience thinking? Is the audience thinking that Trisha and Jason have a happy-go-lucky abusive relationship? You see what I mean? When I looked at Taylor Nicole Dean with so many people who have never gone to treatment, who have never had a loved one in treatment, do they think that it's normal to start banging somebody from rehab, right? So I feel, as somebody who has experience working in the industry, as well as my own addiction recovery experience, that I feel like I have somewhat of a responsibility, almost like you guys feel like you have a responsibility to talk about things. Like I feel my responsibility to say, hey, just so you know, this is not recommended.
Yeah, but Chris, I understand you're doing that, but now what happens when somebody says, I'm not comfortable with you telling my story?
So
I just got out of rehab. I'm not comfortable with you telling my story.
So Nick, let me ask you this. Had I'm Alex asked you to not make a video about him?
Well, I'm Alex didn't just get out of rehab, Chris. You're the one, you're the addict. You're the recovered addict here. You probably know that getting out of rehab is probably a very tough time. I mean, you mentioned it in your video. Yeah. It's a very pressing time for your life.
I'm sorry, and I know you're a tough dude, but I don't buy into that. Like, dude, you don't even, like, I could sit here for the rest of the night if I had time telling you all the stories. Like the story that just popped up in my head is this one of my old clients who got out of rehab, went back home to Mississippi, and his family had a welcome home party with fucking bags of meth and pot and alcohol and shit like that. And
what does that have to do with you telling Taylor? What does that have to do with you uploading a video about Taylor Nicole Dean's fucking somebody in rehab after she got out?
Nick, because we're not these delicate little flowers that you think.
Yeah, but you are when you get out of a fucking rehab, Chris. You're like, Taylor Nicole Dean put out this tweet. And I sent it to Augie. Augie, would you mind putting that on the screen?
Have you ever been to rehab?
Yeah.
No, I have never been to rehab, Chris.
Okay, so how are you going to say what is or isn't right for people like me or people like Taylor Nicole Dean, aside from just your opinion? What experience do you have?
Because it's fucking clear, Chris. You say it in your own fucking video, Chris.
So
you say that people in her life are enabling her, and you talk about in the video that letting this go untouched could cause her to relapse. I'm pretty sure you say something along those lines. Because you're worried about her well-being, right, Chris? You are the mental health YouTuber.
Nick, when I make videos, again, I have to think about Taylor Nicole Dean, and then I have to think about the thousands. She has hundreds of thousands on Twitter, hundreds of thousands on Instagram, and over 1 million on YouTube. So
you don't have a moral high ground to stand for her audience.
I don't I don't need a moral high ground. That's something that I don't even.
But you use one all the time. Chris, she asks you, hey, can you stop making videos on me very nicely to profit off my addiction? Just let me talk about it myself at least first in a video, no matter the intention. Now, in that situation where she's telling you, listen, I'm not really comfortable with it, what runs through your mind?
So what runs through my mind is if Nicole was posting on Instagram and Snapchat or Twitter, hey, just got out of rehab and I'm hanging out at the bar, but staying sober, I'd be like, no, don't do that. Like, if she told me not to discuss that.
She fucked somebody, dude. She had sex with somebody. She wasn't in there for sex.
Bro, I've seen more people relapse from fucking somebody in rehab than going to a bar after getting out. All right? Again, this is...
So you think it's a good idea to send your own audience through a video to go tell her just how sick she actually is? Because, Chris, you tell me something. You said something about how one time that a disclaimer isn't enough sometimes. Sometimes people do it anyway. And I'm the kind of person who believes that a disclaimer is all I need to do because I'm not responsible for my audience. You, on the other hand, don't. So if you're saying something along the lines of you don't want people to send hate to somebody and they go send hate anyway, how do you feel about that?
Dude, I totally hear you. I totally fucking hear you. Like and I get it. And that's something that I debate all the time. It's something that was brought up at some panels on VidCon. Like, I don't know, maybe I should put a disclaimer. Like, maybe I should. Like,
I'm not arguing whether you should put a disclaimer or not. Okay. The point I'm building to here is this girl asked you ever so nicely if you could stop making videos or talking about it. I don't think you have a thing to take the video down, but the fact of the matter is you responded with this tweet. Augie, want to put that on screen?
Yeah. No, Augie can go ahead, but as long as Augie also acknowledges the multiple other places where I apologize for that. Like, I let my emotions, I became that old angry Chris, and I said some shit like...
You're the fucking mental health guy.
Hold on, Nick.
It's not even a deleted tweet. You have it up. I got this yesterday.
Nick, let me own some shit real quick. It was, because I'll say it for anybody who missed it. It was so out of line for me for a few reasons. To engage with her, for me to say, be a better example of recovery, that was such a dick thing for me to say. And I am so sorry for that. And if Taylor Nicole Dean didn't block me, I would apologize to her privately. But that was so out of line of me because I was doing what I fucking hated when I was brand new, which is saying some shit like that. She has no responsibility to be a good example of recovery. Now, somebody like myself with some recovery, I do feel like I have a responsibility to talk about things that are public that might influence other people, all right? But yeah, you can pop that thing up. Now, Nick, with you saying, you know, that tweet is still up, it is, because something I learned through all my bullshit is you delete something, somebody saves it, and they say you're trying to hide something, right?
I'll tell you right now, in researching you, I looked for 1.4 million worth of deleted videos on your end, and they are gone. They are absolutely gone. You deleted 1.4 million views worth of videos.
Remember when I did my apology videos, I privated. You know, I discussed how I was gonna I privated a bunch about Trisha, my Bobby Burns ones, and then like 2 Emma Blackery ones.
Do you understand why this looks so bad? I could probably tweet this tweet and get away with it, but you're a mental health YouTuber. You're a YouTuber who's gone through the same exact situation.
So what should I have done? Like, you just heard me.
Probably not tweet, please be a better example of recovery for your audience.
Nick, that already happened. So I just addressed it. I owned it. Now what can I do?
This is July, Chris. This is July. You got in your drama in March.
Okay, so what?
It's been a while since people were making videos on you in mass. And you're still fucking up, Chris.
Nick, let's get into the solution. You know how we do, baby. What can I do right now and moving forward? What can I do?
I don't know, Chris. I'm not the fucking mental health expert. I'm not going to nurse you back to health on stream. I'm here to tell you what you did wrong.
Nick, you don't understand, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've brought up about you and various other channels. All you do is complain and talk about the problem. You whine and complain, and I'm sorry to say those things, but you whine and complain.
You're no fucking better than I am. You're no fucking better than I am. You talk about the problem. That's the drama. You make videos on drama, and then your niche is mental health. Don't act like you're fucking better than me, because you're not. And I'll tell you one thing right now, Chris. I'll tell you why I'm better than you. I don't have to go to bed at the end of the night and say, oh, I hope the internet thinks I'm a good person, because you got to sit here on your hoity-toity fucking high horse and tell everybody, oh, I'm the mental health expert. I'm a good, positive guy. And at the end of the day, I tell everybody up front, I'm a fucking asshole. I don't care if I have to fucking sit down and roll in shit, as long as it means I get to take you down with me, because you're the example of the degenerates that I hate.
I'll make you a deal. You send me a list of all the videos of yours you want me to watch if you read my fucking book. I have a specific chapter in that book discussing how I thought I protected myself because I regularly, and you said you've watched 20 of my videos and it doesn't seem like you did or you weren't paying attention. I call myself out for being a flawed human being. I called myself out for fucking up. I do that constantly. If
you fuck up constantly and give mental health advice, that's a problem, Chris.
Self-deprecate. Okay. So since I'm not perfect, I can't say that therapy is a good idea. Is that what you're saying, Nick?
Since you're not perfect, you shouldn't be commenting on a girl that just got out of fucking rehab while sending your fucking audience to tell her just how sick she is.
Nick, you can laugh all you want, but I want you to acknowledge how silly you sound right now. So you think that
how silly I sound? Look at the chat.
You are not self-aware, Chris. You are not self-aware.
Hey,
Chris, you always say I'm good at apologizing. I make the best apologies. I'm looking at all your apologies. Half of them start with, I'm sorry you interpreted this as. That's not a fucking apology, Chris.
Nick,
bro, can you plug the book again, please?
Nick, you interrupt a lot.
I'm not sure the audience hears that you write a book. I don't know if the audience knows yet that you have multiple books on Amazon.
To be fair, you have been talking a lot in this debate, so I don't know if you can say call interrupting.
Sorry, I'm long.
I'm just saying.
Okay, but let me just squeeze in here real quick. And Josh, I would love to hear you chime in since you just discussed my lack of self-awareness. Do both of you believe that every therapist, psychologist, any mental health professional out there has all of their shit together?
No.
Okay, then wait.
But I do think they're certified.
Yeah,
See,
they
now
definitely have more shit
changing-
together than you. Jesus.
And now you're changing subjects, Nick. You just said that a person who isn't 100% perfect should not give mental health advice. But now you're saying as long as they went through
Where did I
schooling-
get
We
the
never
quote where I
said
just
that.
said
We
a
never
person
said
who's
that.
100% perfect is the only one who can give
There's
mental
no
health
person in
advice?
the world
Jesus
that's
fucking Christ, Chris.
Okay, what did you say? Repeat it. I'm sorry if I misquoted you.
If you're a person who often fucks up and a person who continues to make the same mistakes, maybe giving mental health advice isn't the best idea.
Mistakes. I mistakenly clapped back at Taylor Nicole Dean. So I should never try to help anybody.
Bro,
Maybe
you
you
insinuated that Bobby Burns had a fucking drug problem because he crashed his car. You insinuated that what?
Bro, if you look at all the evidence and think that Bobby
Evidence?
was
There is
sober-
no evidence. I'm sure
Oh
the
my
cops could have
God.
tested his fucking
Please.
urine.
Please,
You're not-
Nick,
you
you're
call me
exactly who I
internet
talked about
cops.
in
You
that video
tested
being
urine
willfully
through your brain.
ignorant. You mean to tell me, all right? You mean to tell me somebody who is smoking weed 24/7 shows themselves partying?
Christian, you already apologized for this and you're defending yourself about it?
No, I apologize for hurting his feelings.
Oh
but-
my, there it is again.
What, you think I'm gonna take that back? I talked about
Yeah, I think you're gonna take it back because I don't think you have
You're-
fucking
You're out
CSI
of
level
your mind.
brain
Bro,
scans where you could see his
off your
fucking
mind.
blood alcohol content in the fucking car when he got into a crash. You literally looked at a situation where a guy got into a car accident and fucking assumed he was on
Did
drugs
you
or
watch
drinking.
Did you watch his interview with No Fuckers explaining that car accident?
No, I did not watch his interview with No Fuckers because he's a hack.
Well, I suggest you do. Just go try to find the part.
Is it
where he
about
talks
Russia?
No, no, this is just about Bobby. But yeah, try to find the part about where Bobby explains how that accident happened, and like go back through the evidence and just tell me if you think
It's
he
not.
was sober.
Why are you giving me context? Why are you giving me homework? You didn't have that homework when you made the fucking knee-jerk video to say that, hey, listen, he crashed a car. The only logical reason was drugs or alcohol.
Nick, do you think I would make that same assumption about someone who wasn't A, getting high constantly, or B,
Do you live with
partying
him?
right before?
Listen here, man. You're judging these people off of videos, off of vlogs. These are cherry-picked videos that they use to upload. How could you make any mental health assumption from a video that's literally corrupted
That's
by
not
the
a
person who
mental
uploads it, by the
health
editor who uploads it?
That's not
How
a
could you
mental
make
health
any
assumption. That is deductive logic, bro.
deductive logic? Now we got a detective on the case.
Nick, your sasses are amazing. Let me tell but
Come on, Chris.
it's logical. The evidence is there. Like the same reason, okay, like you put together with your detective skills a series of Alex fuck-ups to
Yeah, I interviewed
conclude-
people.
to conclude the type of person he is over a series of time.
Well, I also sat with Alex for 2 hours, Chris. Did you sit with Bobby before you made that video?
With myself, you are taking a series of things that I have done to try to conclude who I am as a person. But when I do that and take evidence from over a period of time, now all of a sudden it's a
Because
terrible
you're a
thing.
mental health expert and
It's-
I'm
dude,
an
That
asshole.
is such a hypocritical double
I'm
standard.
calling myself an asshole. How does that make me a
I call
hypocrite?
myself an asshole all the fucking time, bro. Like, when have I ever said, like, oh, look at me. I'm the nicest guy on earth. I'm a flawed motherfucker who's trying to be better each day. And the fact that you've put the expectation on me that I
The
should be.
expectation. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, no.
You think this is a hit job, don't you? You think that every single person who's ever come out and made a criticism of you, I'm sorry, hate video, because we gotta call it that. You think this is a hit job. You think you're a victim here, don't you?
No, Nick. I just think you have a skewed perception of reality, brother.
I can watch what's on the screen and make assumptions from there. You, on the other hand, have detective x-ray vision and can see what everybody around you is thinking. And I'm calling you out on it right now.
So when you literally said earlier in this podcast that you don't think that Alex is remorseful.
I don't think that Alex is remorseful. No, I talked to the guy.
Can you read his mind? Do you have a quote from Alex saying,
To the
"I'm not
guy. I got a conversation with him.
Okay, so do you have evidence of Alex saying he is not remorseful? Or did you conclude that from talking to him?
What?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I talked to him and he
Nick.
didn't come off remorseful, then yeah, I
So
talked
you're
to him and
making
he
an
didn't come off
assumption.
remorseful.
You're
You are
making
the
an
guy-
assumption, Nick. That's
Yeah, it's
extremely
one assumption to make when I spoke to the guy. It's another to assume a guy is on drugs because his car hit a fucking tree or something. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Nick, I hope you go watch that video. It's not because he hit a fucking tree.
God.
Nick, no, Nick.
This is so painful, dude.
It is
so
painful,
painful.
dude. I have to sit here and watch people like you not see me doing the same thing as you, and then your quick go-to is, well, you talk about mental health, so you're not allowed to do what I do. What is that, Nick? What is that?
Oh my, Chris, I keep telling you this. I'm an asshole. I make
Nick, I'm an
videos that
asshole
are mean
too.
videos.
Nick,
but
what do I
that's
have
the
to do?
problem.
What
That's
do I-
precisely the issue I'm having here. When you say stuff like, hey, listen, I'm glad I'm not a licensed therapist, because if I was, then I couldn't make these the statements I do. I don't have to tiptoe. That's a fucking problem, dude.
But you don't think any licensed professional ever comes off as an asshole?
I'm sure they do. I just don't think they do it in front of patients. I'm sure they don't go after somebody who literally just fucking got out of rehab because she had sex.
You don't think so? Nick, again, you've never been to treatment. You've never worked in treatment.
They don't fire up a live stream. They don't post a video online to an audience of 80,000 people.
Okay, so you think my responsibility is to Taylor Nicole Dean and not the hundreds of thousands of people, if not over a million?
You got like fucking 5K on that video, dude. Who the fuck are you kidding?
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, who do I need to, please?
Well, people don't do this. That's the problem. That's the problem with you little fuckers. Most of these mental health YouTubers cover wide varieties of topics and get a lot of views the normal way. But when you take YouTube drama and mix it in there, you now have to balance the two. You have to think about not only the audience who's consuming your content, but you also have to think about the person whose life you're invading to make
Nick,
this content.
you don't think
you could say everything is public, but it's not. Not everything is public.
Okay, let's have a personal, vulnerable conversation real quick. You don't think the video you made about me has affected me, and as somebody who is, in your words, and maybe not as vulnerable, but in a vulnerable stage, right? Like, I'm a recovering drug addict who lives in Las Vegas. You making a video about me? How dangerous is that?
Why the fuck would I care though? I'm not a mental health professional.
Oh shit! There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
But
Dude.
you're-
I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not thinking of everybody's well-being. I'm making a YouTube video on a guy who called me out as a response. If you're gonna take that the wrong way, that's your fault. You called me out. You put my name in that description. I'm not thinking of your mental health. I'm not thinking of where you've been or where you'll go. I'm thinking you said this and I'm responding.
And
on the other hand,
that's our common
you're an
ground.
armchair therapist.
Yeah, you're fucking damn right I am. I'm not a licensed therapist. I've never claimed to be one. And if you have a clip to give Augie, because I gave you some research to do where I say I am one, no, I am an armchair fucking therapist for right now, all right? But you and I are in the same boat. You said the second I did what I did, you stopped giving a fuck about my mental health. The second people like Trisha Paytas showed an abusive relationship, I stopped giving a shit about her mental health. The second that Taylor Nicole Dean showed people that she was fucking somebody in rehab, I stopped caring about how it affected her because I cared more about how it affected the audience.
But you apologized for that already. You told me you made a plethora of apologies.
Ooh,
for that.
no, Nick. No, Nick. I apologize for clapping back on her on Twitter.
Yes, and that's what we're talking about.
That's it. I will never apologize for making a video saying that her fucking a guy from rehab is a bad
I'm talking
idea.
about you sending a tweet to a fucking person who just got out of rehab. Let me pull this up here.
It sounds like you're from the East Coast. I'm surprised you don't know more addicts. You really think
Chris, this person begged you not to make a video on them, and your response wasn't, I'm sorry, or
Nick,
I'm keeping the video up. It was, please be a better example. What the fuck, dude? Chris, I have a genuine question for you. I've seen you defend this video countless times. My story of borderline personality disorder video. I just want to ask you a few very quickly about it, as long as you need to be here for it. I'm gonna give Augie the thing to put free reign on screen while I'm talking. So in this video, you use that disclaimer thing we were talking about before, where you've gone on record previously saying a disclaimer isn't always enough. Sometimes we're more responsible than we should be. So I'm gonna read this video right here, and I want the audience to get in the fucking zone here. This is a video called "My Story of Borderline Personality Disorder." It's BPD signs, symptoms, and recovery. And this is my borderline personality disorder story, BPD, story of my symptoms as well as my recovery. Many people ask, is BPD curable? And I feel that I'm living proof that it is, even though I had the signs of the illness for many years and I was able to overcome it. In this video, I discuss what it's like as well as my road to recovery. Now, this is a video where Chris uploads it, and in the first 2 minutes, he gives a very clear disclaimer that, hey, I never had that disease. Did I say anything wrong yet, Chris?
So, Nick, let's say you were just coughing your fucking phlegm up, your nose was runny, you had a fever, whatever, you did your thing, whatever you do. You took your NyQuil, your DayQuil, whatever it is. You got some good sleep, got some good rest. Maybe your mom made you some chicken noodle soup. You're talking to a doctor later and you say, this is what's going on. And you're like, I don't know what it was. And they're like, oh, it sounded like you just, you had a little cold. Like,
you see, the extra context behind that is BPD is one of the, and as I've researched this, is one of the more misdiagnosed illnesses. It's one that's often misdiagnosed, and many people out there believe that it is incurable. So the fact that Chris makes this video and claims that he has cured the disease should be a nice breakthrough. That's a big deal.
That is widely taking out of context.
Well, what's the context, Chris?
I hope you link it and people can watch. The video actually starts out because I debated on making that video for a long time. First off, as far as the title, okay, let me clear up a few things since we're coming to the end.
You're clickbaiting the fact that you have a disease. Is that not wrong?
Okay, yeah, clickbait title. You read my descriptions. Like, I didn't even realize people read my descriptions. I have an SEO background. The only reason, like, I just kind of fluff up descriptions to put my
Well, they usually describe the video you're watching. So
yeah, like, I just do that shit for the algorithm, but like, I'm definitely rethinking how I do my descriptions now. Like, some of it's not even like proper grammar because I'm just squeezing in keywords. But if you watch even the first 5 minutes of the video, I talk about the debate I had even making the video. So I've worked with many people with borderline personality disorder, and it's one of, and like you said, it's highly misdiagnosed. There's a massive stigma around it. And when I learned about it, I'm like, holy shit, like, this sounds like me and how I used to be.
And you thought, damn, this sounds like me, right? So that's a self-diagnosis.
So before I made that video, I had a long conversation with Dr. Faith Harper.
I like her. I looked her up too.
Dude, she's the shit. I wish you would, Nick. I wish you would ever say a bad word about Faith Harper. Ooh.
I might. Let's
no, but she's good people. So I talked to her and I said, listen, something I do is if I'm like questioning a video I'm gonna make or any decision in my life, I ask myself, what are my motives? Why do I want to do this? And I talked with her for a little bit. I think it might be able to help people. Let me know your thoughts on this. The like to dislike ratio on it is 977 likes to 59 likes. If you look through the comment section, you see a lot of people thanking me. So like when I see people—
Yeah, I get a lot of people thanking me too when I called Bunty King a cuck in one of my videos. So,
you guys,
I get a lot of—
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, the video clearly helped a lot of people.
It helped a lot of people, but it's based on a lie. It's literally— you say it's not promoting self-diagnosis in the video, correct? You say that it's not promoting self-diagnosis.
Absolutely.
But your defense on that is, hey, I talked to somebody and she told me, yeah, you might have had that. Is that right? You might have had that back then. Yeah.
So you think that video—
are you telling me right now that you think you can diagnose somebody for a disease they had 6 years ago?
No, absolutely not. But let's look at this, okay?
So you looked at symptoms and thought you had a disease.
Again, I'm always looking at net positive, Nick. Like, this video, despite—
Well, net negative, I'm Mr. Negative over here, is that people are going to look at this and go, fuck, I have those symptoms too. Maybe I have BPD. Oh my God, and panic.
Have I ever told anybody to self-diagnose?
You never did. No, but this is promoting it. Hey, I never had this disease. I went to a doctor who also, by the way, I researched her in the state of Texas, where she is I forget the title right now. LPC. She's an LPC in Texas. She also doesn't have the ability to diagnose either. So she has
a PhD, bro.
Okay, but her position, her certification doesn't allow her to diagnose.
All right.
I'll pull up the Texas law thing. It says right here, interests, aptitudes, achievement level, and other characteristics for diagnosing mental health disorders, but does not permit the diagnosis of a physical condition or a physical disorder. That's Texas law. So the problem with this is that you're now going from one person who can't diagnose people to another person who also can't diagnose people, who said, you know what, 5 years ago, maybe you had the fucking disease. And you get on YouTube, pop in your little description and say, hey, listen, I cured a disease I never had. Now tell me what part of that's out of context.
So Nick, one of the things that's widely out of context is when I mentioned BPD being curable, it comes from the #1 selling book on borderline personality disorder called I Hate You, Don't Leave. I highly suggest you and anybody else out there struggling with BPD.
Are you in the book?
Reads it. No.
Are you in the book?
No, I read the
Then
book.
when did you cure it?
No.
If you're not in the book, then when did you cure the disease?
Nick, listen, you and I can disagree on this all day long. I did what I felt was right. I talked to other people. I was debating on that video fucking months, all right?
And what brought you to the line to post it?
The fact that you, Nicholas DeOrio, have a problem with it And here's asshole Chris.
I have a problem with the truth. I can see what's here, and I have a problem with what I'm looking at.
I literally don't care, Nick, that you had a problem with it, all right? I went through my personal process of deciding to post that video. It looks like a lot of people benefited from it, and I'm not gonna not do anything because Nicholas DeOrio and a few other people have a problem, all right? That'd be like you taking down your I'm Alex videos because some I'm Alex stands have a problem. We don't do that shit.
Yeah, I didn't diagnose Alex with
Dude, I go through my own process, and you can go through your own process, all right? But the fact that you want to
it's a little different. I'm shooting on fake rape allegations,
like
and you're
degenerate scumbag for what?
What would you call it, Chris? You cured a disease you didn't have. You have the power of Jesus flowing through your veins.
Is that what I said? Is that what I said, Nick?
No, it's what I'm saying. Off the title, off the description, off the video, off the disclaimers, and you yourself say the disclaimers aren't enough, and you bank on them there. What the fuck is the problem here, Chris? We're running out of time? Oh, better hurry up. Maybe we could do this again, buddy.
Okay, fine. Fuck it, Nick. I got some time. So as far as the disclaimers and putting them out there, it doesn't do shit, right? And the thing that I've been thinking about lately is like, what's the problem? Because, okay, for example, I didn't mention Turkey Tom in that video, but I don't think Turkey Tom should have removed or deleted any video, right? Turkey Tom puts the disclaimer. You put the disclaimer. I don't know if Bo Blacks does, but I see plenty of people put the disclaimer. I don't think creators are the problem at all. What the community does is the issue. And the problem is that you can't just make videos like about the community because it's this fucking massive entity.
Because the community will hate you, and then you'll get 500,000 people coming knocking at your door. Yeah, I'm fully aware.
Like, trust me, dude. Like, even though we disagree on shit, I respect the fuck that you do put those disclaimers. Like, that's the most you can do. Like, fucking McDonald's can put hot coffee on their cups, but if I pour it on my crotch, that's my bag. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you're so against cancel culture that you've been using it as like a fucking Teflon shield to deflect criticism recently. I have a question for you. Is there a good cancel culture?
Yeah, against rapists and pedophiles and murderers.
What about false rape accusers, Chris? Because you say that we're cancel culture. We uncanceled somebody. We uncanceled the person who was accused of rape. I uncanceled somebody. I should be a hero in your eyes, Chris.
You guys don't understand. Like, what you guys did was fucking legit. Like, that was amazing. But like, I sit here and I'm like, okay, so should Alex just never have a career again?
No, I want his opinion. I don't want him to do trending topics. I would like him to sit down and make fun of Girl Defined and all these stupid things. And obviously, I'm just an 8,000 sub 9,000 now YouTuber who's just talking from my fucking room right now.
We're gonna get you to 10. Nick, let's collab and get you to 10.
Chris, I think I'll be okay.
Collabing with you is gonna get him to 10K. I'm gonna be honest.
Very good point, Josh. I appreciate you putting that in there. But no, dude, like don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of this stuff, like, I'm trying to figure out answers and solutions. And like we just talked about, like, I'm looking at the community as well. Like, for example, I don't know, you probably didn't listen to the podcast episode that I did on Alfie Days and Susan Wojcicki. Like, dude, I'm somebody who has had dozens of videos made about me, but I never think that channels like should never criticize anybody. Like, that's fucked. Like, what I talk about in the podcast is, imagine if you weren't allowed to talk about Logan Paul filming a dead body. Imagine if you weren't able to talk about.
And that's what's on the line right now, by the way. That is what's on the line.
And I don't agree with that shit. Like, what I'm trying to figure out in my mind is, how do you find this balance? You know what I mean? Like, how do you
There is no balance. It's either you can do it or you can't do it. And one of them is going to happen regardless of what you, I, or Alfie Days says. I don't think, man. I think you're right not to
I know you're graduating college soon, but I'm going to keep working on this solution. And maybe someday you and I are going to team up, do some Batman and Robin. I'll be the Robin to your fucking Batman, Nick. I don't give
Chris, this was our collaboration. I don't see one in the future.
Hey, dude, I don't know. I think we could team up. If you change your mind,
I'm pretty.
If you change your mind, my DMs are always open. I just want
All right, thank you very much, Chris.